My brother-in-law refused to pay me for 2 years of work at his business, and my sister said I should be grateful for the experience. So, I showed them how to run real business. My sister Grace married Vincent when I was 22 and fresh out of trade school. I had my electrician's license, but no experience and no connections. Vincent owned a small electrical contracting company. He did residential work mostly. New builds, renovations, panel upgrades. He had about 6 employees and more jobs than he could handle. Grace suggested I come work for him. She said it would be good for everyone. I'd get experience. Vincent would get reliable help. We'd all be one big happy family. Vincent agreed, but he had conditions. He said he couldn't pay me a full salary right away. The business was growing and cash flow was tight. He said he'd pay me a small weekly amount for living expenses, and then we'd settle up properly once things stabilized. He said 6 months, maybe a year at most. I was young and stupid and trusted my own sister, so I said yes. The weekly amount was $200. I was working 50 hours minimum, sometimes 60. I was doing the same jobs as his other guys, sometimes harder ones because I was eager to prove myself. His regular employees were making $25 to $30 an hour. I was making less than 4, but I told myself it was temporary. I told myself Vincent was good for it. I told myself Grace wouldn't let her own brother get cheated. 6 months passed. I asked Vincent about getting paid properly. He said the business was still finding its feet. He said give it a few more months. He said I was learning so much, wasn't that worth something? I talked to Grace about it. She said Vincent was under a lot of pressure. She said I should be patient. She said the experience I was gaining was more valuable than a paycheck anyway. So I waited. A year passed. I asked again. Vincent got annoyed. He said I was being ungrateful. He said he took a chance on me when no one else would. He said if I wanted to leave, I could leave, but I'd be starting from zero somewhere else. He made it sound like he was doing me a favor by not paying me. Grace backed him up. She said I was part of the family business now. She said I needed to think long term. She said money wasn't everything. Easy to say when you're living in a 4-bedroom house your husband bought. I stayed another year. I don't know why. Maybe I kept hoping things would change. Maybe I was scared to start over. Maybe I just couldn't believe my own sister would let this happen. By the end of year 2, I'd done the math. At a normal rate, Vincent owed me over $90,000. I brought this up one Sunday dinner at their house. I showed him the numbers. Hours worked. Market rate for a licensed electrician, minus what he'd already paid me. $93,000 and change. Vincent laughed. He actually laughed. He said those numbers were fantasy. He said I was an apprentice, not a journeyman. He said the $200 a week was more than fair for someone learning the trade. I pointed out that I came in with my license. I wasn't learning. I was working. He said the license was just paper. Real knowledge came from experience. Experience he gave me. Grace told me I was ruining dinner. She said I was being dramatic. She said if I was so unhappy, maybe I should find another job. So I did. I quit the next day. No notice, no explanation, just a text to Vincent saying I wouldn't be in. He called me 12 times. I didn't answer. I had saved almost nothing from those 2 years. The $200 a week barely covered my rent and food, but I had something else. I had 2 years of experience working every neighborhood in the city. I knew the builders. I knew the suppliers. I knew which inspectors were strict and which ones were reasonable. I knew how Vincent priced his jobs, and I knew he was overcharging by at least 15%. I got a job with another contractor for 3 months, just long enough to save some money and make a plan. Then I filed for my own business license. I called it Proper Electrical Services. Simple name, easy to remember. I started small, just me, my tools, and a used van. I reached out to every builder and general contractor I'd met while working for Vincent. I told them I was on my own now. I told them my rates were fair and my work was solid. A few of them gave me a shot. Word spread. Within 6 months, I had more work than I could handle alone. I hired my first employee, then my second. By the end of year 1, I had a crew of 4 and a real office. I wasn't rich, but I was building something that was actually mine. Vincent noticed. Of course he noticed. Some of his regular clients had switched to me, not because I poached them, because they liked my work better and my prices were lower. He called me about a year after I left. He said I was stealing his business. He said I was using contacts I made on his time. He said it was unethical. I asked him if it was ethical to not pay his own brother-in-law for 2 years of labor. He hung up. Grace called the next day.